Good morning, everybody. MG here. MGCovers bringing you a brand new sports handicapping video. Title of this video is Major League Baseball Sports Betting Preview for June the 25th, 2022. Super excited. Got a lot of things to share with you. Before we do that, as always, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, greatly appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Not a lot of fluff in this channel. If you want to learn the unadulterated sports betting truth, you're at the right place. Talk about models, how to handicap objectively, situationally. So if you subscribe to the channel, you get a ton of value that way. If you follow me on social media, MGCovers, cover spelled with a Z. I put out a lot of content on Instagram. I have been slammed with life here lately. Yesterday, I didn't do Free Fridays, but if you follow me on Instagram, every single Friday, I give out all my lines for free. And different nuggets, things that I see in the sports betting marketplace, I will post on my Instagram as well. So let's dive into this sports betting preview. I'm going to show you all my lines for today, 625 for Major League Baseball. But first, just a quick background. Major League Baseball has been my nemesis here the last couple of years. Tweaked a lot of stuff. The beginning of the year, I thought I had a really good model. We were doing the play against concept. That did not work. So I changed the model, and since we changed the model, I've gone 13-7. What's that, like 65%? Just really solid handicapping. I'm only playing 2 plays per day, which takes out a lot of variance. In my opinion, you can't do a lot of volume in Major League Baseball. There might be somebody successful playing a lot of volume. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me, and I can only share based on what I'm having success with. So the first thing I want to do, yeah, this is from a monitoring service, 38% ROI, just a really solid month here for Major League Baseball, and I think that was some soccer draws in that as well. But let's look at this run here, and again, success is duplicatable. So in anything in life, if you find somebody that's successful, you duplicate that, copy that, whatever word you want to use. And what's interesting, I'm going to show you all the plays here during that 13-7 run. And what you'll notice immediately, like Toronto minus 1.5, 130, Chicago minus 131, Atlanta minus 1.5, San Diego minus 128, Tampa plus 189, San Diego minus 1.5 plus 115. Not playing a lot of huge underdogs, like, what I like to play. And the reason for that, as you know, in Major League Baseball, favorites win 60% of the time. So if all you play, let's just say you come up with this idea, okay, I'm just going to play nothing but money line dogs in baseball. Well, that's going to be difficult to be successful and profitable long term, because the statistical property, a fact of Major League Baseball, is underdogs only cash 40% of the time. It's the same reason people get absolutely destroyed in NFL, because what do they do in NFL? They play favorites. Everybody plays favorites. Favorites win and cover less than 50% of the time. So if you play favorites in NFL, I don't even have to look at your log. You're going to lose. So I've had to adjust. It's difficult for me because I like to play money line dogs. So I've had a lot of success playing away teams on the money line. And let's talk about quickly, I've made videos on this, but just to refresh your memory, if you play a home team in Major League Baseball and they're winning in the 9th inning, they don't bat in the bottom of the 9th, right? So real simple stat, the away team will cover on the run line more times than the home team. It's just a basic fact, because they are guaranteed 9 at-bats. So like I've said many times on this channel, how do you take advantage of a statistical property? You only do the occurrence for that property, which means if the away team covers on the run line 60% of the time, well, I'll only play away teams on a run line. I don't play a home team on a run line ever. So by doing that, that statistical property will always work in my favor, and I played a lot of them. And you can see here, scrolling on up, just kind of looking at these lines, minus 130 Minnesota, plus 103 St. Louis. Even the dogs we're playing are like real small dogs. Plus 115 for Colorado. That looks like it was a loss. And then last night we played 2 money line plays. We had Boston minus 110, Astros plus 115, and that was a win as well. So without even getting into any handicapping, you can just look at the log and realize, okay, the way what he's having success with is playing home away teams on the run line and real small dogs and even small money lines. So I'm not playing anything higher than probably minus 130. I think I played Philadelphia minus 140. There was a plus 148 St. Louis. That was a loss. But for the most part, the away team, and then where I find value in the small dogs. Now, I'm not scared to play, say, a plus 150, plus 200. It's just that the way that I'm handicapping, I don't see a lot of that as a, quote, legit play. Okay, so moving along to the lines for today. And let me just talk briefly about how I'm handicapping it. So what I do, really, the beginning of the year, if you watch that video, I talked about the play against concept, which means you're simply playing against a bad team. Really can't do that in Major League Baseball. Most of the teams that I'm playing are, quote, good teams. Like I say, played Boston last night. We played Houston, two really good teams, and had success with that. And the way I'm handicapping this, it's from a macro perspective, which means I factor everything. I look at my model to make sure we have value. I look at starting pitching. I look at relief pitching. I look at form for that team. I look at line movement. And I never overreact to any one thing. So I just posted this on Instagram today. So if I have value, like today I have, let's say, value on Baltimore. Well, if the line moves at the close, say 10 minutes before the game, it moves in favor of Baltimore, I don't automatically just jump on and play Baltimore. So I don't overreact to line movement, even if it is in my favor, because again, I pretty much factor everything equally, and allows me to make really good decisions. Now, this is difficult because what I'm doing is I'll look at all the plays with value, whether it's 5 plays, 7 plays, and then I'm narrowing down my selection to just 2 plays. The reason I do that is to take out the variance. Baseball is extremely difficult sport to handicap. Very difficult. It can get away from you in a hurry, but by only playing 2 plays, it does several things. It helps sharpen my handicap, because if I've got 7 plays with value, what do I have to do? I have to look at those plays side by side and decide which is the better play. And that helps me narrow down my selection to end up with 2 really solid plays. And the second benefit is it gives me confidence. Each day, I already know. It's like having a routine for working out at the gym. You write down what you're going to work on, if it's going to be chest and back, or, triceps, biceps, whatever you're working on. So you have a plan going in. That will help with confidence. And 2, by only playing 2 plays each day, I already know the worst thing that's going to happen. We're going to go 0-2. So that gives me confidence as well. So again, it might not work for you. There might be other handicappers that's having success doing it completely different than me. Again, I can only share with the way that I'm doing it. So that being said, I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to go through my lines for today. Let's take a look at, we have Yankees, Houston. You can see here, this particular case, we have value on the Houston side. Now, let me tell you why this would not be a play. You can look at Cole's on the mound for Yankees. We look at his stats briefly. Let's see how he's performing. Pretty good, right? His last 3, he's 1-0. Overall, 6-1. Not his best in the last 3, but you can see at home he's really good. Only a 2.47 ERA. Where you look at Javier for Houston, not his best stuff here. 4.91 ERA, 4.63 ERA away from home. So immediately, once I see that, I'm completely ruling out Houston. So then I would obviously consider one other concept I didn't mention. If a team is a favorite via my line and they are a favorite at the books line, meaning favorite my line, favorite at the sports book, I will consider that team as well. However, in this particular case, the reason I wouldn't consider Yankees is because I'd have to lay minus 180. No way I'm laying minus 180. It's too much juice. The most I would play on a single money line would probably be up to like minus 130. might make an exception to that to go closer to minus 150, but definitely not minus 180. And because Yankees are the home team, I would not play them on the run line. So this particular example would simply be a pass. Okay, so let's take a look at, let's go down here to the Dodgers. I don't want to just plow through all these. Look at the Dodgers. Dodgers are minus 139. Braves are minus 128. My line, you look at the sportsbook line. I've said this a gazillion times. Fried's on the mound for Atlanta. So what does that mean? That means that the line will automatically be shaded to the side of the perceived better pitcher. And that is the case here. Braves minus 156. Dodgers are plus 132. You can see here last 10. Dodgers are really good form. 7-3. Braves pretty good form as well. 6-4. Dodgers won the one last night. And let's take a look at pitching matchups. Again, Fried is their ace. However, if you look here, you'll see that Fried, pretty good stuff, right? 2.89 ERA in his last three. He's pretty good at home, 2.93. However, Mitch White for Dodgers has pitched well, 1.93 ERA in his last three starts, 2.25. So I would look at this as even as far as pitching matchups. And also note, if you're watching this video, I'm going to make a coaching client video that's going to go in a lot more detail how I actually cap. And I'll go ahead and talk about that now. If you want access to this model, I got several coaching videos how I'm doing this. $49.95 per month. That gives you access to all the lines, all the coaching videos. If you want access to all of my plays, that's $99 per month. And that gives you access to everything on the site. The best value, smartest thing to do is to pay for the year in advance. You save about $600 and it's only $4.99. You get access to everything on the site, all my plays, all my models, my lines for 1 year for $4.99. And there is a link to join in the description box. So that being said, for this particular game, I would actually consider a potential play for the Dodgers. And again, I'm still going to look at line movement closer to game time. This game goes off tonight. Other game we're going to look at is Seattle and Angels. Angels are the home team and the favorite, minus 134. My line has Seattle at plus 116. And you take a look, we have Seattle as the favorite, minus 135. Angels at plus 133. Let's take a closer look at this. And you can see I do put an emphasis on pitching. That's one mistake that I made. If you remember the beginning of the year where I really didn't, it was focused more on hitting. Huge mistake. Again, I still look at hitting, and a lot of that's factored into the model. So the model factors in starting pitching, hitting, relief pitching, everything. But again, I will situationally handicap starting pitching, which is what I'm doing now. And let's look at starting pitching for Seattle. Gilbert here. Pitched well, really well. He's 2.5 ERA last three starts, 2.28 at home. I'm sorry, on the road. So that's pretty much what he is. And one quick point to note, you can see this is the last three starts are the most important because that is current form for pitchers. Their last three starts. And you can look and see, look at his overall year to date. He's 2.28 ERA overall, 2.5 in his last three. So you've heard me talk about regression to the mean. You're always going to be regressing to that mean. So for him, he's pretty, how he's performing now is how he is. So we can pretty much expect this same type of performance tonight. You look at Sandoval, pretty much the same thing. 2.7 ERA in his last three at home. A little bit worse, 3. I don't really put too much stock into that. And overall, 2.7. So this is a pretty equal pitching matchup. However, you look at my power rankings, we do have value there with Seattle. Okay, let's take a look at one more here. Mets and Miami. We have Miami as the favorite, minus 125. Mets as the dog at plus 130. And we have Trevor Rogers on the mound for Miami. Bassett on the mound for the Mets. So let's take a look at their stats. Yeah, this is a really good example here. Both these starting pitchers are in really bad form, have gotten rocked here. Rogers just not having a great year, 5.83 ERA overall. His last 3 starts, 5.93. So what can we expect here today? He's going to give up some runs. And Mets, same deal with him. He's 5.09 last 3, 5.46 away. So this is a particular game with pitching. I mean, either one of these pitchers could have a blow up in the first inning, give up 5-6 runs. It happens. So in this particular game, when I don't have predictability, I want to, if I'm going to wager on a team, I want to have a pitching advantage, right? Like last night we played Houston. We had Verlander on the mound. We knew what he was going to do. Granted, he was going up against a good pitcher, but I would rather play a good team like Houston going against a good team and a good pitcher, as opposed to a game like this where I'm taking a bad pitcher and going against a bad pitcher, if that makes sense. Because this game, there's a lot of unpredictability here, right? I mean, either one of these pitchers could pitch a gem, but I just don't think it's smart to wager on a bad pitcher, because if I'm going to wager and invest in a game, and I'm being picky because I got to narrow it down to 2 selections, this is going to be a game I simply pass on. So if you go back and look at all of my lines for today, here are the leans that I have. I have a lean on Washington. We have them at -120. Sportsbook has them at +104. Have a lean on the Dodgers. Dodgers are +132. They are, lost it there for a second, -139. My line, Seattle +116. My line has Seattle at -135. And I mentioned the Miami game, but of course that would be a no play. So then it looks like the games I'm leaning on are going to be Washington, Dodgers, and Seattle. And again, from that selection, I'll more than likely narrow it down to 2. So anyway, quick review on this. Even if you're not a client, what you want to do, you got to factor everything in Major League Baseball, in my opinion. You're going to look at starting pitching. You want to look at relief pitching, form for that team. Are they winning? You don't want to wager on a team that's only won 1 of their last 5 games, or maybe 3 of their last 7. You want to wager on, quote, good teams, find value that way. Make sure you have an advantage in starting pitching. If you are playing that away team, definitely consider playing them on the run line to, obviously you're going to play less. They got to win by 2, but there's a 60% chance that they will. So a lot of value playing the run line. Anyway, hope that helps. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and we will talk to you guys soon. Peace.